might not think of animal control staff being essential workers, but they absolutely are.
So it only takes 30 years for an idea to come.
It wasn't as long as 840, though, I'll tell you that. So
That is for sure.
That's a tail kicking.
And that's not a short trip.
It's not a short trip.
I bet it was a fun trip on the way home.
And she gets along very well with all kinds of folks. She's very friendly and eager to please. She loves toys, loves treats.
Yonder come day, day is a-breaking, sun is a-rising in my soul.
How do we inhabit this fragmented life? Is the body the light in the window or the one who looks in?
I think we're making really good progress. I think we're narrowing down the issues to a couple of key issues.
Motion from Mr. Lackey. And a second from Brian Richter. All those in favor say aye.
They're learning and they don't even realize it because they're here at school and they're getting candy for learning, but they're still learning.
Various donations that came in for the capital project of the Animal Control Center. A number of them in particular were in honor of former Commissioner Judy Hayes, who was very much involved in that project.
They want a diversified group of people that when they go to Rotary, they can sit down and talk to somebody, and it'd be an entirely different conversation.
This county commission, school boards, for the 35 years that I've been around, is very, very focused on our public education.
If I didn't know any better, I'd think she is Meemaw's twin. Meemaw is, as you know, one of my best friends.
Filming and editing our music videos. Right now I'm doing Best of Both Worlds by Hannah Montana. And so we're figuring out the new ways on Premiere Pro and learning all tricks.
I want to tell you that I'm proud of where we are. I'm excited about this budget because it is the most significant increase that I've experienced. And it's for this year, what may be the last BEP year.
That's what I've loved about Williamson County, is I had nothing when I came here. You mentioned Ed Moody. I bought tires on credit from Mr. Moody because I couldn't pay for them, but I needed tires. I'm traveling a lot. And Mr. Moody said, whatever you need, and you pay him when you can.
This is Penny coming to you from the front porch at the brand new Williamson County Animal Center. And I'm here with our dog of the week, Russ. He's 6 years of age, and he is a major love bug.
A very wise man told me one time, when something goes right for multiple years, the person in charge has something to do with it.
One would think so.
I've seen some talented teams not do well.
That's right.
So yeah, I'm glad you said that. Yeah. Shout out to Coach Brock, who's really a coaching legend here in this county.
We're doing a wax museum, and it's where everybody researches famous Americans and they will act as them.
It's where people go around pressing our buttons and we come alive.
Very conservative with the way we manage your tax dollars. And that's put us in a situation where we would like to give some money back to taxpayers, especially now when you've got gas approaching $5 a gallon.
We have a scouting assistant who's a female with the Titans right now, so there's a ton of opportunities, different pathways through the vehicle of football, but lots of different ways to get more females involved and encourage them.
Majority of my experience as a law enforcement officer, they've been positive. I have had a full career.
I think it's going to be a huge loss for our community, to be honest.
To walk away from this job, I leave it feeling very good.
Our main priorities at our job is to keep the animals at the center healthy and happy. Being a kennel tech means starting my day early. I get to work around 7 a.m. to start caring for the animals. The first thing we do is get all of the dogs out of their kennels to relieve themselves. Some of the dogs we have are housebroken, so it is very important to get them outside as soon as possible.
She likes to play hide and go seek. She also enjoys watching the birds outside and enjoys sunny spots and enjoys climbing on our components here. She's a chatterbox. She does get along with other cats, but she can be sassy.
But just think of Franklin having 5 historic landmarks and nobody knows the cast. You ever hear of it?
Well, I have, only because you mentioned it to me before, but I know very little bit about it. And I know there's a lot of, I didn't realize there was only just that few in the entire state of Tennessee, and we had 5 of them.
I think it's Fairview, Franklin next. Obviously, they're both 2-0, but Brentwood will be fine.
I can't wait till Ravenwood and Fairview go at it.
I can't
Coach
wait
Hughes will pull out every, you know what I'm saying? He's already working on it.
Well, Coach Hester has referred to Coach Hughes as the Tom Brady of flag football, so that's kind of fun too.
Challenged our students to read for 1 million minutes throughout this school year, and our students far exceeded that mark.
They started doing a log and we had to get 100 minutes each week. With total out of the whole school, I got 25,738 minutes.
Today I'm going to show you a day in the life of my job as a vet tech here at the center. One of the best parts of my job is that every day is totally different. If you enjoy being challenged, new surprises, and working as part of a team, being a vet tech might be a job you would enjoy.
Come to town on Saturday night, not Saturday. You had to be in the field till dark. And then you come to Franklin to the theater and could get in down there for 11 cents.
Murphy is only 1.5 years of age, and he's got a lot of energy. This boy loves to run, and it does not slow him down. He knows how to sit, he knows how to stay, and he does have a very rough and rowdy play style.
And by the way, Coach Johnson, he's part of this week's gym, Tate. This seems unbelievable when we've talked about this before, but this is not fiction. 58 straight district wins when he was coaching the boys.
I will leave y'all with the piece of advice my dad gave me when I ran for office. And that was, when you're in politics, there's one person you can believe, and that's the person that looks you square in the face and says, I would never vote for you. Everybody else keep working for their vote.
When the night is at its blackest, sometimes all it takes to change the world is 6 seconds.
Now there's just little activities going on. There's a live painting going on, and there's like a little arts and crafts section, and then there's also voting, and live art just everywhere.
I used to run into the surveying crew that was laying out the interstate from through Brentwood nearly every morning at the courthouse as I came into work, and I'd ask them whose farm they was going to ruin today.
I put that number in the county at probably being about 1,200 people who are homeless in the county. And I could very easily come up with or show you 800 to 1,000 very, very easily, and then just kind of adding up a little bit. My gut tells me there's more.
The Wilco Championships has become a measuring stick, just like the Scott Hartman Relays is a measuring stick. Do well there, I got a pretty good chance to do well at the state meet.
I love it that we have such great meets within our own county. Yeah. And as Franklin continues to do some upgrades track-wise, you'll end up seeing them have a big meet too.
Conservation subdivisions can still happen with the 1 to 5. There's just going to be less dense, and we may see some larger lot sizes and we're going to definitely see more protection of natural resources, maybe ecosystem, and more open space.
It all begins with elections like this one. It all begins in rooms just like this one. It all begins with us being willing to knock on a few more doors, make a few more phone calls, and push a little bit harder. Because what's at stake is more than just what happens to us as individuals. What happens to our communities? What happens to our future?
Yeah, they're going to snap it straight to him. Wall
Little Wildcat
to the left
wall.
side, and he's in the
Touchdown.
end zone. That's 6 points.
Touchdown,
Fairview Yellow Jackets.
Unless he puts a little curve on that ball, he's going to have to pass to teammates.
Oh, and Brentwood scores.
She is a rock star in our play group and has never met a dog that she does not get along with.
They also score an own goal.
Spell that, please.
O-W-N.
Okay.
An own goal, which basically means that Paige accidentally scored
It
it.
started last year in the middle of COVID. They wanted to do something fun for the special education classes, and so they thought some type of game, Special Olympics style. So this year we tried to make it a little bit bigger.
Anytime we've got one of our student speakers who come to one of these all the time, even when they're angry and criticizing us, they are poised and fearless, and it couldn't be prouder.
You hear a lot about smart growth. What does smart growth mean to you? In other words, what decisions will you make to ensure the county grows responsibly?
Franklin and Williamson County decided that they did not want to be every town USA. That we didn't want to look just like every other little town, whether it be in Kansas or Alabama or Missouri. We wanted to be different. And then we realized we have this great treasure, and the great treasure is our history.
Now, Winifred's a senior cat who is 13 years of age, and she's so sweet, y'all.
For the love shared, for the cares showered, death is not the end.
We've got a lot of kids competing in their first ever FFA competition, and we really appreciate Fairview hosting this competition every year and giving our students the opportunity to practice some of these really practical hand-on skills.
I have been very fortunate. I have interviewed plumbers to presidents, and I wish I had kept some of those interviews. But every day it's kind of like Forrest Gump. Every day at living in Williamson County, it's like opening a box of chocolates. You don't know what you're going to get.
Our man Caleb West from Ravenwood finishes 13th in the 2,000-meter steeplechase. Now, Tate, what is the steeplechase? The steeplechase is a race where it has barriers that you have to jump over, and there's water out there too. Did you know this? No, there's actually water.
And thank you for that, because it is the most important thing we do. $280 million in tax cuts, obviously no new tax increases, a number of different tax cuts, grocery tax holiday. We're going to waive the state portion for renewing your car tags for the next year. We're trying to find ways, creative ways to put money back in the pockets of Tennesseans.
So excited for Marcy Moore to be our shining apple at Nolensville Elementary School this year.
Holy guacamole! You're the best!
And I don't want these kids to think it's not a big deal. What we're doing tonight is a huge deal. These kids have worked their tails off, and we are so proud to honor them.
That Franklin High School, it's just a fun school to work at. We've got a lot of great kids who work hard. We really appreciate their families.
A big thank you to our health department staff and our employees there. I want to tell you, these last 2 years, they have worked tirelessly.
I know why you stopped me. You guys have a quota that you've got to meet, and I politely I spoke and I said, no, we don't have a quota anymore. They said we can write all the tickets we want now.
They are so much fun to watch. We always encourage folks to adopt cats in pairs, particularly kittens, because they are so active.
All right, say one more time for 2022 spring signings.
All the way to home, gonna work, tumbles a little bit, but gonna get out on that one.
It was like she got on that final stretch, the 40-foot Donzi, she put the pedal to the metal, and she was cruising. It was a boat race.
Still not through. I ask myself, what would you do if you had more time? The Lord is kindness, He gives me what you always wanted. He gives me more time. I know you think you could do too. I know you think you feel it's true. It's a little things in
Hoping this can help drum up some excitement for esports and have the students come out. It's a great opportunity to play with other people that they wouldn't get a chance to play with normally.
But there's a lot of people involved that would like to see sheets of ice in our community, not only for our citizens, but for tournament play too when they come into town.
Mackenzie Cochran makes a great play with like 52 seconds left. Franklin's just trying to basically salt the game away. They pitch it. Cochran, like she's playing defense in that zone defense of Coach Brock's, gets a hand on it, runs it all the way back. Next thing you know, Page is in the final taking on Franklin.
I have deep roots in Franklin. My great-grandmother was born, right after the Civil War in 1866. So, I remember her and her talking about that period of Reconstruction around here.
It was a lot of work to pick this place and work towards this place, Now that I finally know, okay, it's confirmed, I'm here, and I'm gonna be getting in, I'm gonna pursue what I want to pursue, it's pretty relieving.
You were selected based on your individual performances in the classroom and your extracurricular activities. So let's give all of our students one more clap.
I listened to country music. I thought it was some of the greatest poetry I'd ever heard in my life. And therefore, it gave me my voice to write. I tell young poets all the time when they come to see me, find your voice.
I'm pleased to be here, Mr. Lackey, to present you with a resolution that has been passed by the General Assembly and signed by the Governor, and we are grateful, certainly, for your service. During Mr. Lackey's tenure as chairman of the Williamson County Regional Planning Commission, Williamson County transitioned from a sleepy rural county with a population of 63,000 to a thriving suburban county with a population estimated to be 256,000 people in 2022.
I
do appreciate it. I love y'all. Thank you.
Dobby is a fantastic 4-year-old mixed breed dog who gets along with everybody. Big, small, shy, not so shy.
And I've showed the school children numerous times how to make cups out of a piece of notebook paper and go stand in line to get us a drink of water because of those days it was so hot and no water there.
We've worked really hard to identify sidewalk gaps and connections, and I think the two big ones that you see are 96 East from downtown out to MacHatcher, and of course this one on 96 West.
They like the fact that they can manipulate and code their own robot to do what they tell it to, and then they watch it unfold in front of them on a piece of paper.
This assignment she gave us was inspired by the French artist Henri Matisse. It was his fishbowl painting, and for this we had to make a mixed media.
Ravenwood-Brentwood baseball, I had the pleasure of going to that game, and I'm just going to tell you right now, I've never seen a bigger high school baseball crowd, ever.
That was a pretty cool atmosphere.
And if it's not elimination and maybe it takes away from it, it's too bad it was an elimination game.
Right.
But the atmosphere was, people on the trucks and
backed up to the fence,
climbing up poles and standing on garbage cans, like literally that was happening. Just to be able to see, it was incredible.
I think we entered this year thinking it's gonna be easy. It's gonna be a great year, and it has not been without its challenges and struggles. So we cannot thank you enough. Anyone who works for this district, thank you so much. And I know you're counting down the days, and I hope you have a wonderful summer.
Preschool friends. School is over, summer's here, but there ain't never.
We're walking in our Heritage Elementary today as seniors.
It is so special.
She needs a home without other cats, as she wants to be the only queen in the castle. She can be a little shy to folks at first, but once she knows you, she comes out and she's just super friendly.
I think you have to let matter what matters to the person to whom it matters. And there may be poems that I do in my Hardened Daily that never go anywhere, you know, in terms of like ending up in the Southern Review or whatever. But some of them really matter to maybe one reader or 5.
No phone calls, and when it would ring, man, you'd jump on, hello, this is Jocelyn Plumbing, and, you know, and it'd be maybe my sister or, you know, somebody. I said, I was hoping this was a plumbing call.
And we thank you so much for allowing us to do our little part in serving your children as they take that next step to serve us. So thank you very much.
as I would give them a penny, we became friends. I'm talking about they fell in, I got hugged, want to take my picture. Those pennies opened the door for me.
Trees wait in stillness for undulating wind to lead their dances.
This is my AP portfolio. My sustained investigation is milestones. So these are some people that are close to me, some friends and family.
When we were down 4-0, I dug deep and came up with some of my best motivational singers like, "Come on guys, let's pick it up. Hey guys, need a little tempo here. Boys, you gotta stop him."
This year we decided to try to do a field day. We have over 800 students and we don't have a large field like a lot of schools have. So we had a challenge in planning and using all the areas we could.
Now River is a hound through and through. Good old boy. Around 3 to 4 years of age, he came to us as a stray with his brother Garth.
Remember every emotion that got you to this point. The first person you fell in love with, the first friend that you made when you came to school, the teacher that played a song that they definitely shouldn't have, TikToks in the bathroom, even the friendships that exploded and fell apart.
The one thing that I'm the proudest of, it's the quality of character of the individuals that make up the Franklin Police Department.
Tennessee has its own long legacy of military service. Many names you know, like Crockett, Houston, Farragut, York, and Jackson, to name a few.
This is where the car line runs, and it's already not a great scenario because there's that new parking lot next to the football field, so a lot of kids park there and walk in, and there's no sidewalk for them to walk on.
We appreciate this crew, what they do, not only for that event, but all year long. Very much appreciated.
Oh, they're the best.
They really are.
Couldn't do it without them.
Putting up with us.
They are some of the most patient people I've ever been around.
I mean, even though obviously the talent level out here on the desk is, I mean, you really can't mess this.
Go back. YouTube would say differently.
You tend to forget that Main Street was littered with overhead utilities, cracked sidewalks, closed businesses, and unattractive awnings that really hid the historic structures. And when you look at it now, it is an incredible gathering place.
We want to teach kids about what we do here because even some adults don't know what we do here. So we want to teach kids what the animal shelter does and what they can do to help animals in their community, whether it's here at the center or in their own neighborhood.
In the case of primary elections, the challenge is sorted out by the political party's state executive committee, and they convened last week and upheld the certified results for all of our candidates in the elections.
She wears a large brimmed hat to church, not for the smiles of other women. She lives by the rules she chooses, for she knows how she lives and she knows who she is.
Now this dog is a great dog to take around the neighborhood or maybe even to a church picnic. He is fantastic. He gets along great with other dogs. We don't know so much about other cats, but in general, he is a people-pleasing dog.
Here's Wade again. He's in the shotgun. He'll take it himself and up the gut, and Wade will score.
Unbelievable.
Please don't walk your dogs on the asphalt. Of course, don't leave your pets in a vehicle unattended. If you can, walk them in the grass. Try to walk them in and get them their exercise in the early morning or late in the evenings.
Curious, she rubs against a book, knocks the stack across the floor, follows one book, touches it 3 times, paw, nose, tongue, chews a corner lightly.
Bevan again trying to make a name for himself. The give is outside. I believe that's to Sparks. And Sparks takes it down the sideline. Foot race to the end zone, and Sparks will score.
Holy mackerel, look at that.
48 yards out.
So they join knowing that they're going to combat. What a unique individual it takes to that kind of sacrifice, as well as their families, both spouses and mothers and fathers. So just a very, very unique, smart, savvy young soldiers that we have, just performing outstanding throughout our ranks.
This is the first TV film camp that we've had. It's part of the career and technical education branch of Williamson County Schools. And so we decided to offer the TV and film camp this year and open it up to rising 7th and 8th graders throughout the county.
What a team we have. We have an incredible leadership team. And when I talk about leadership, I'm talking about everyone in the district. Somehow, some way, everyone who serves our students is leading.
It was a pleasure working with you, and I appreciate your efforts in producing this budget. I think it's a good budget, and I'm proud of it, and I'm proud of all of you.
Find something you love to do and do it well, do it to help others. And the greatest compensation you will ever get in this life is the fact that you cannot help others without some good coming to you. You really can't.
I picked an apple from a tree, a bright red apple, round and sweet. I placed it on my counter and planned its use.
She's a beautiful girl. She prefers kind of like a chill crowd. She doesn't mind necessarily other dogs, but she doesn't really like dogs that come at her super energetic. You know what I'm saying? She prefers the more chill dog.
Welch is going to drop. He's looking downfield. He's going to let go of it. Oh! And it's picked up. Oh! Hello! And he's going to slide forward.
The thing that's most important is all 9 schools in the district had either an individual or a team champion or both. Now that's unheard of.
All 9 schools. That's pretty impressive.
Agroforestry complex in Tennessee, on average, it contributes $81 billion to the economy annually and accounts for nearly 12% of the economic activity conducted in the state. There are over 69,000 farms in Tennessee, and I think it's important to note that 98% of them are family farms.
Calling all big cat fans, I'd like to introduce you to our biggest man on campus, Sizzle. He first came to us at a whopping 23 pounds. He's very friendly.
Unlike our own neat yards with careful trees and well-tended aromatic roses, no one tended the woods. If my father wanted firewood, I could lead him to the windfalls.
There you said it. And to backside to Black, that's a good way to get him involved in it. Does a great job of making a couple of guys miss, picks up a big block downfield. He's off to the races. I don't think 45 is going to catch him. And he walks into the end zone. Great job by Critchlow.
We are all so fortunate to have been a mayor of the city of Franklin.
known nationally, and I deal a lot with the local mayors and other people in different communities, and they all say, well, we use Franklin as an example. Whether it's from planning that got started to economic development that Tom was involved in so much. Franklin is that city that people within our state look up to.
Believe me, being chairman is not an easy role. I did that for many years. And Tommy, we thank you for doing that, coming to all the extra meetings and things you have to do. So appreciate you very, very much.
Try to choose your work to be something that you like or that you love. Because the worst thing I think in the world is to go to work every day to some job that you don't like.
And we're focusing on pretty much advancements in technology. We're going from drones to robots to even older technology like welding, electricity, and kind of how it's been modernized.
Amy keeps this time, flips it out, and big hole down the sidelines. Nobody in front of him is taking it. Bryce Stayer all the way for the score. 37 yards for the touchdown.
The traffic study is for this 27 acres, which looks like a great subdivision with big lots. It's really nice. And the traffic studies for this, so these extra roads, I mean, obviously they're looking for the stub road for future connection.
So our first question will be given by Mr. Derby Jones from Williamson Herald. And just to get you ready, then the first answer will be by Mr. Ravener. Mr. Derby.
Okay, my first question is something that's been kind of a hot topic in the news recently. What is your reaction to the Hillsdale College President Larry Arns disparaging public school teachers in front of Governor Bill Lee? And should the college be allowed to operate charter schools in Tennessee, specifically in Williamson County?
They lose water through their leaves. So if it's windy, as it has been, you're losing more water, so you may have to water more often.
And is that
I need a break on my water bill too. You know,
that would be the Franklin City mayor, and but we could talk to him.
We'll get him out here next.
I am convinced that cats would make incredible gymnastic competitors, curvy little acrobats with keen eyesight, magnificent agility, and 9 lives apiece.
We'll have another shot at it, and he's going to kick this one hard. And it's over! Unbelievable! What a finish to the game. Dixon County suffers their very first loss.
She'd probably be best in a home without little kids, probably older kids, or a home that has no kids would be a great one. She's just a great dog.
For the operational section and then the budget section, there simply were not enough details provided for the committee to feel comfortable that it met or exceeded, but even to the bare minimum of the expectation of the application and the rubric, there wasn't enough information for us to make that indication that it met.
They approved and recommended a $723.5 million budget that was funded with no property tax increase. At $1.88 per hundred of assessed values, I'm proud to say that Williamson County has one of the lowest tax rates in the entire state of Tennessee. Nina has been one of those special people that have been around longer than I have, but a lot younger. She's done a wonderful job.
I never left home that I didn't regret leaving. I never got home that I wasn't glad to be there.
Dominic is actually deaf, which is not too unusual for white cats to be hearing impaired. It doesn't necessarily require anything special except just being aware that he's deaf.
Cisco back to pass. That'll be picked off. I believe that's Crouch.
A big hit!
And a huge block. And Crouch. Another touchdown.
Catch them rainbows in my garden. Display them on my salad plate. Red beets, carrots, yellow squash, green peas, and blueberries. Serve them with a golden smile.
Government, cities, it's a great place to work. It's hard work, but you got to have a public servant's heart to get into that. It's, as many of the elected officials here in this room would tell you, it's very, very rewarding from inside, but the pocketbook isn't always filled like you'd want it to be.
Whether because of health concerns or for safety reasons, or because of a lack of resources, shelter leaders have been hesitant to allow their dogs to interact. Enter Dogs Playing for Life.
It's school time again in Williamson County. I'm Sheriff Dusty Rhodes of the Williamson County Sheriff's Office. I want to pass along a few tips that I need for you to help obey so that we can keep our children safe. If you travel through school zones, allow extra time in the mornings and afternoons.
All living things need water to survive. It is the most needed resource in the world. 71% of the earth is covered in water. Based on your weight and age, you need to consume a certain amount of water per day.
You will be greeted by our office staff. They will ask you your business and get you to sign in. From there, the school staff will get you taken care of. It's everyone's responsibility to keep our schools safe.
I was out in the afternoons riding the country roads, going to cemeteries and talking to all the old people, which that was really an important thing because I probably talked to some people and got information that nobody else had ever thought to ask.
With a 1st and 10 from the 43-yard line of Nolensville. The pitch out to Gio. He cuts inside, finds a nice seam, and he will be gone. A 43-yard touchdown for George Odumegwu.
I'm excited. I feel like we have a really good team, and I'm really more excited because I'm coaching some really good kids. This is one of my favorite teams. I'm enjoying coaching because of how good a character and how good a kids I've got at Fairview.
Go out on Friday mornings. WCSCO Athletics. We want you to participate again in our Pick'ems polls this week.
I'm sorry. I don't think it's this week, but you need to make sure because sometimes you're not paying attention to everybody. There will be some Thursday night games this year.
I started teaching in 1972. When I first started to teach, I made $500. It wasn't even $600 a month. And that was supposed to be, a good salary.
And the history of Williamson County is very, very special. We have the beginnings of our county, and then we have the devastation to our community when the Battle of Franklin was fought.
I just don't know if we'll grow as exponentially as Page did. I mean, I don't know. What's your enrollment?
The governor is from Fairview.
There you go.
That's the elite of the elite.
Bill Lee.
That's right.
Yeah, I wonder if he'll be at
Coach
Let's see if he can show up to the game and do the coin toss.
A student would have a particular GPA with Williamson County schools, and then when they would apply for the Hope Scholarship, the GPA might be slightly lower based on the state configuring their grades to ours.
Every single person makes this fair accessible for the next 9 days. So it's an all-American fair. That's what it's been labeled, so I hope you enjoy it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Williamson County Fairest of the Fair pageant. I am Leah Kennedy, contestant number 1.
Right, the small one, that's this one right here. Right, the medium one, and the really, really long one. It's all about how you look at it, right? 4 people clapping, everybody else like.
Then she said, I got some news this morning from Chi-Town Reed. Today, Billy Joe McAllister jumped off the Tallahatchie Bridge.
all the good values that we've had from yesterday, all the good things, and make sure we keep and preserve those. And I think the county as a whole, with your leadership, and I give you great credit, is trying to do that.
This may be our first Fairview girls soccer boat race.
Could be.
4 goals from Jackie Redding. Don't call me Otis.
Robots pull against each other and see whose robot can pull the other one. And so we modified them in different ways. We added a gear train to it to make it pull better.
Day was born here 9 years ago.
See?
This is the best student section Fairview has
Best
ever
student
had.
section. Hey, Dr. Oyer would be proud right now.
That's right.
We have a very healthy percentage of youth sports coming to Williamson County currently in fields that are sort of dispersed. And if we had a facility, that's another one of those examples of we could bring in more if we had a place to put them.
They want to win. They want to get out there and compete. They want to prove that they belong. You know, Franklin is traditionally a powerhouse, and Coach Melton's got them on the way back up now with what they did with Riverdale last week. And our guys know they got to show up and play.
Inside of the box. Hurd scrambling out.
Oh, he's got it.
Oh, goodness.
Yep.
And just like that, Page scores.
So incredibly proud of each of these gentlemen who have meritoriously served our country and are now serving throughout our community, placing others at the forefront of their actions.
Oh, play me some mountain music like Grandma and Grandpa used to play.
Let's give them all a hand. Aren't they all beautiful?
Blue eyes cried in the rain. Down in Lucan by Texas, ain't nobody feeling no pain. I'll fly away, I'll fly away in the morning.
Encourage fellow man, lending a helping hand, put a little love in your heart.
Isn't our Fairest of the Fair, Elena Bridges, doing a wonderful job today? Let's give her a hand.
We are out here at SOAR in Franklin tonight as a part of the Coordinated School Health Program.
Cameron Hunnell, the TWRA, reached out. We're happy to announce that you did receive your boater's license, but if you're going to keep going that fast down the river, we're going to have to suspend it.
We can never rest as long as one person in this county is sick or hungry or cold or their child has no way to get to school.
We talk to our kids a lot about, look, you have to do what you're good at doing. You have to understand what this team's good at doing. You know, and in our week one game, we were good at controlling the ball.
5 minutes into the second, Brentwood, excuse the pun, lightning strikes twice as they mount 2 quick drives, putting 14 points on the board.
We have our beautiful 8-year-old California sea lion, Avocado. Ava, can you say hi to everybody? With a pretty smile? Thank you, Ava.
The highway department has miles of roadway that are in the 100-year floodplain just because of the way roads have been built, you know, and come to exist through time. The easiest place to build them a lot of times was next to the creek. So that's what we're left with.
Franklin has always been a special place in the world. It started out that way. I don't think anybody particularly said it that way, but it has just been a special place in this world that people came.
What animal would I choose if I were to adopt any animal in the shelter? Well, that's easy. I would choose Liz. Why? Well, Liz is a senior, is at 13 years of age. You can imagine during kitten season, the seniors tend to not be adopted quite as quickly as the young ones do.
I built a roller coaster and it was really tall.
I should have put a bigger piece.
Where do we put it?
Right here.
Yeah, right here.
Right now,
Trying to get
like a loop like on like a roller coaster.
Without you, who knows where I'd be? You're helping me on my mission to sing out my dreams. And thank you for believing in me.
Cougar Nation, relax. You will be a playoff team. They're good.
Yeah,
They've
they
got
are
a good team. Dominic Reed, 2 interceptions on defense, and they also had a block punt that Miles Johnson ran in for a touchdown. In a lot of ways, they did everything but win the game.
It just has you spinning and trying to get that extra yards. A little punch out right there. And there's the ball.
So it looks like number 33 for Nolensville, Jackson Bandy, punches the ball loose on the tackle. And that's when Tarek Washington there is to reap the benefits of the turf bounce.
Students today are dressed up in their DOT outfits. We've got teachers passing out DOT stickers. We've got all the hallways decorated with their different DOT projects. There is a live collaborative mural.
Rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me.
I stopped to see a weeping willow crying on its pillow. Maybe he's crying for me.
The other kitties in here are tabbies, who are about a year of age. That's Benjamin, Cricket, and Eloise. They enjoy playing with the feathers.
Today, in the dark, walking, I looked up without a reason, and I saw everything again, and the infinite.
Had no idea that this was coming, and I'm very grateful to all of you. I really am. Mayor Anderson, thank you so much. And let me just say that serving the court has been an incredible honor. Serving the recovery court has been a double incredible honor.
The good old farms became residences. And I really think that the development of this city and county has done pretty well.
Have we had very many cross-country gyms in the history of the show?
Well, we're getting ready to have one, Tate. Brentwood. So get this. You didn't mention a Brentwood runner in the top 5, so you're thinking, okay, maybe Brentwood didn't do so well. Well, they won, by the way.
Yes.
5 runners in the top 20.
Carter is very cerebral, and he is super into taking care of his body and the fitness of his body. He literally runs basically a yoga class after practice in the weight room on the floor, and I literally have to beg him to leave.
And we're going to go back to Carter Pace, I would imagine here. Carter Pace takes the handoff, breaks the tackle. Oh, my. And just like that, Carter Pace, 4 touchdowns on the night, Coach. Carter Pace has hit Al Bundy status for the night. 4 touchdowns, Polk High. Keep that Letterman jacket.
Just have a little bit of an energy level, so if you do have young kids like toddler size, she might knock them over by accident. But in general, she would be a fantastic family pet.
One of the things after high school is find something you're passionate about. That's the other cool part about our programs and our CTE department is we get kids on the correct pathway, because learning what you don't want to be is just as important as learning what you do want to be.
The Franklin crowd got on the floor one night, and the administration was kind of upset. I had to go tell them, I was like, I'm sorry, it's
my fault.
I invited them on the floor.
I love it, man.
That didn't come up in the interview for this job, thank goodness.
If you can't coach with enthusiasm, what are you doing?
We still have that small town atmosphere, Rogers. You and I, of course, we're out in public life.
Very seldom I go to a restaurant I don't know at least some people in there to say hello to.
I very much appreciate the work our administrators are doing to continue to grow our students. We've had a great year. We had a great start this year, but the challenges continue to come, and we want you to know that we're going to continue to work to innovate.
The atmosphere at your games, and that band has a lot to do with it.
100%.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and again, the band and the cheerleaders, the dance team, I mean, the whole community coming out. I think the band definitely sets the tone with the atmosphere that they create. And I joke all the time and tell people we're not a football school, we're not a volleyball school, we're a band school.
As you can see here, big pressure coming off the edge, forces the fumble, and off to the races.
Wyatt hit the turbo button on that one, too. He was gone.
He was button smashing X, as they say.
For sure. He kicked it in the second and third gear on that. Somebody get him a Chick-fil-A sandwich because he was turning it on there.
Essentially walking, crawling on all fours doesn't quite make her an Orinthiapod, but her primary source of transportation stays in the back two legs. That's what secures her into the Orinthiapod category.
Ahead, there's joy and gladness and rest for the weary soul. Up ahead, there's peace and contentment. Everybody will be happy and whole. Don't you cross your heart unless you hope to die. Drinking dark whiskey, telling white lies.
Falling off the wagon, I'll admit my feet are dragging, but I'm not prepared to stop following my dream.
And we came up with this idea to do the Heart Bus for CPR education, and what better local community partner than Williamson Medical Center.
Well, we're really excited about the Heart Bus.
Oh, I think it's amazing.
We had our second World War that came along in the early 40s.
Right.
And you got drafted.
From the volunteer state.
From the volunteer state.
That's right.
Had the opportunity to move to Middle Tennessee. They told us we could move anywhere we wanted to in Middle. So Dora and I came up and rode and saw the pasture at that time all the way from the interstate through 96 to Franklin, and got downtown and saw the business district, saw the homes in Franklin, and she said there's no use in going anywhere else to look. This is it.
Coach Finch, calling Captain Finch to the deck 3. Boat race City over the hills, Burroughs, 42-7, 3 defensive touchdowns.
You throw everything out the window when you get involved in this game, because this is Centennial Community versus Franklin Community, Battle of Franklin. It's huge, and I know that it's both sides are going to be up and ready to go Friday night.
You're going to look at Wilson to go to, I think.
Need to have some time for Wilson.
He's going to throw it up to the corner. Knocked down by number 12. That's Reed, who ended up scoring the touchdown. The Cougars will escape with a victory here at Franklin High School on homecoming night.
I never dreamed they made a 40-foot ladder, but Dan's going to show you here, and watch the arc will actually jump to the ladder. He don't actually touch the wire. The arc jumps to that ladder.
Peach is one of my favorites, so thank you very much for that. Chantilly cream on top was a nice touch as well, so very well presented, and overall good balance of flavors on that one.
There's a growth area between Spring Hill and Thompson Station where I think there's going to have to be some more discussion and try to resolve some issues there.
If you are an administrator and a good administrator, then you're only as good as the people around you.
And that's all you're worth, is the people that are around.
And of course, everything I'm saying sounds very much heart-like, and that really is the heart of a nurse, and that's what y'all represent, and that's what we represent. So, as the bus says, your heart loves you, love it back.
For the kids.
It's probably going to make him smell bad, and his wife's going to complain about it.
Are y'all ready?
This opportunity for them to use some of the skills they've learned in planning and child development and kind of put it all together and have a really fun activity.
The WCTV game of the week, the Battle of Franklin, it did not disappoint. It goes to overtime. Centennial comes out with a 21-14 hard-fought win.
We just had a great big senior class last year that all played together, and when you're replacing one kid on offense and that kid goes a different position, I mean, it's going to be tough. You're going to have some growing pains.
Well, nice pickup on the blitz right there by Hartwell. Gives Sapone time to see Katina, and he finally breaks it in. He goes back and tells the cornerback, hey, I caught it.
I got it.
I finally got one.
This guy is so tolerant. He gets along well with just about anybody. Took him downtown Franklin yesterday, and he was absorbing, just digging all the attention.
Give me just another try. Can I do one more try? Give me one more chance. Give me one more chance. Whoa, give me one more chance. Give me one more chance. Fool me once, fool me twice. Are you dead for paradise? Now you'll never see me cry. There's just no time to die.
In second, Emily Dietz. And taking over blue, red. Your first place winner for class number 6 is Presley Nolan.
I got 325. 25 divided by 25, you won't be 25, you won't be 25. Anybody want to be 325? Well, would you give us 310? I got 310. 10 divided, you'll be 10, you won't be 10, you won't be 10. We sold them $300.
The still air folds sunshine into silence, with age-drawn colors waiting under its dying glory. Autumn genuflects to winter, hiding mysteries underground.
There's nothing more priority than our safety or our law enforcement. So I think we need to show leadership in deciding what our priorities are. And for me, this is top priority.
Seeing that there's parking and the amenities center and then the covered area on there, do we know if there are plans for anything else, a pool or tennis courts or anything like that?
To this day, I have no idea who all came to help clean up the debris. Excuse me. But one of the newspapers came up and Claude happened to be there acting like he knew what he was doing. And they said, who are these people? And Claude says, what do you mean? He said, well, is this the Red Cross? And he says, no. He said, well, who are they? And Claude just looked astounded. He said, it's friends and family, and it's the community coming together to help somebody in need.
Some of the most awesome kids who are up at 5 o'clock in the morning starting in their barn before they go to school. They're back in that barn after they get home from school. They're working hard. They're busting their tail.
I got 55 and 60. You get about me for 60, you want me 60, give me 57 and a half. 55 and 7 and a half, 7 and a half, 7 and a half. We sold them $55, number 44, 44.
We're training in dogs, we do lots and lots and lots of this.
Decide who the world champion tortilla flippers are at the Williamson County Fair. All right, so we are getting serious right now. All right, you guys go ahead and practice, and then we'll do it for real here in just a second. Go ahead and practice.
We ought to give a big round of applause to Rick Warwick, because this guy knows everything, and he is a real asset to, I think, everybody here and everybody in Williamson County.
I think about you, I I think about 17. I think about my old jean. Think about stars in the sky. Funny how melody sounds like a memory.
This town is like a place where you can learn how to do jobs.
It's pretty much a simulation to give you a feel of how being an actual adult is. So we have all our separate jobs. We have to pay, we get paid, we have to deposit stuff, we get to buy stuff.
Hey kids, it's your host of the Sports Connection, Darren Joins and Tate Matthews. We are your clown show of the week.
Last year playing them, and we were close, and it was a competitive game. I think that kind of flipped our season, because up until the end we think we're good, but we really don't know. But then when you hang with an Indy, then you know you're pretty daggum good. So I mean, it's kind of a measuring stick for us.
We saw the bunch package right there. Hartwell's just going to find a seam. Good block right there on the pick up on the safety. Probably one of the easiest runs Hartwell has seen all night.
With us? Okay.
She's nice.
Well, all you have to do is take a look around and see how many people that love her.
We love you, Miss Thompson.
I love y'all.
So this is the policy that we have before us. So it may not be perfect. In fact, we all know we may have to change it anyway. But I'm a yes vote on the policy.
I thought this was kind of cool. And it's this week's gem, Tate. Saucer finished her career number 9 all-time in assists in the state. That's according to the record books. 3,175 assists for her career.
So we had 2 freshman quarterbacks this year, Maverick Chance and Lucas Goose. So we had Maverick and Goose for our quarterbacks on the freshman.
That up.
100% no, GUSC, baby.
We'll see what happens. And he does. Kick is up. It's going to be fielded by Hartwell at the 2-yard line. Head of steam up the field. Coach, I think he just knocked that kid into I don't know if multiverse. He was brought down by 31 or if he took down 31 on that play.
Last class of the evening will then be age to those. It is one class, so it will be both our class placings and our champion prize.
All right, guys, go ahead.
Okay, this time we need to pick our Williamson County champion, Michelle Tinsley coming to select champion.
for you.
For the last couple weeks, we've been doing archery in gym class, and that's always one of the students' favorite units.
I'm really excited about archery.
But it's interesting to me, you've got all these scenarios, and when the dust clears, it's Ravenwood and it's Brentwood, like it's been so many times in Class 6A. It just was a little bit different how they got to it this year. Brentwood 2, Centennial 4.
So I want to acknowledge how much I appreciate each and every one of you that are getting the certificate of at least 30 years. This is something we started several years back to recognize and to say thank you to all of those employees that have put in the long hours and the time.
The plat was not recorded, and the applicant is requesting that the plat be reapproved with a revised bond amount for roads, drainage, and erosion control based upon work completed to date. Staff recommends reapproval.
November sings a somber song in the grayness of the dawn, as honking geese, winging strong to milder climes, are drawn.
And I'm here with our cat of the week, Kurt. Now, Kurt is 1 year of age, and this fella is super playful. He will absolutely flip for feathers, and he just loves toys and treats.
Could we run that same pace she ran for 100 yards?
No. Well, no, you can't get that fast. I tell you what we'll do. Claire Stegall, Larkin Johnson, y'all team up, and you want to play me and the county AD in pickleball? We'll take that challenge. Williamson County Rec Center.
Or any box for it. This is a K-eider. It's a mix between a cat and a spider. And in Miss Gunter's 3rd grade class, you got to really color it and Sharpie it. We were learning about 21 steps and how an unknown soldier was buried in Washington and how other unknown soldiers were also buried. And there's a soldier who guards be unbroken, by and by, Lord, by and by, there's a better home away, in the sky, Lord, in the
sky. Downtown Main Street is the #1 driver of tourism for the county. I don't think probably most of you are not surprised to hear that, but we do have research that shows that. We also invest in research that allows us to understand how people move around the county and what it is that they experience.
Yes, in the right direction. I know this only because I never imagined I will be passing this way. But it is hard to imagine now not being here.
I enjoy doing what I'm doing, and I just really want more people to get involved in this. We really need to have diversity. Don't sit around fussing about what they're doing. Get involved yourself and do something.
I'd like to introduce you to Chase. He's one of our 2 supersized cats that we have right now. Now, Chase is 19.9 pounds. He's 9 years of age, and this fella is super friendly. He'd be the perfect companion for an office.
We are very honored to be a part of the Williamson County Veterans Day Parade. I'm Major Massey from Independence High School Junior ROTC.
It is such a treat for us because we have the Vietnam veterans marching ahead of us, and we are going to fall in right behind them, and they're going to lead the way.
My guy's got the best looking jerseys. He put the logo on the jersey. The conference logo is on the Page jersey. I love it because next year it's not going to be 14 conferences, 1 goal. It's going to be 1 conference, 1 goal.
Our region's not quite as tough. It's Coffee County, Lincoln, some of those. It's not the Nashville.
Yes, basically those 5A playoff football schools, right?
That's
You're
right.
kind of matching up with those guys, which is going to create some natural rivalries. Those games, now you may play them in the fall and then see them again in wintertime when it comes basketball. So, a lot of those kids playing both sports is going to make for a little juicier rivalry, a little more intensity maybe.
I think it will too.
I say this every year, and I want you all to hear it to be really clear. This is not the end. This is literally the beginning of the next step. And if you have ever thought that you worked hard before this, you haven't seen anything yet.
Got a wheel in a wheel, way in the middle of the air. Some go to church for the sing and shout. Some go to church for the sing and shout. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah,
Literacy night at Bethesda. Tonight is our very first family literacy night.
Eat pizza and have fun. I love to read.
Fritzy Bears, Splat the Cat.
I was born and raised in Nashville, how I love my hometown. Heaven help us when it snows because we totally shut down. I got the Music City winter, Music City winter blues.
And so, for 100 years, the scouting experience at Boxwell has continuously reinvented itself to reflect the changing needs of the nation's youth it is serving.
She's just a fantastic cat all around. And there's so many benefits of adopting a senior pet. I hope you will come on down and view not only Honey, but all the other senior pets that we have down here at the center.
He has fled without a word, a final face resting in the incomplete obscurity of a room, perhaps the last memory.
We came up with 3 alternatives, all of which would work to varying degrees based on our projections, and then brought those to the community. Each one of these recommendations reflects some mix of those based on the feedback we receive from the community and from you.
I don't care what anybody says.
Okay.
You gotta have dressing or it's not Thanksgiving.
With gravy?
Of course.
Agreed.
You gotta have turkey, even though I like some meat, other meats better, but it's Thanksgiving.
Correct.
Turkey. Okay. And then my third one, I'm gonna do maybe a little surprise for you. I feel like you've gotta have pumpkin pie.
Daventry is one of those that they've just now gotten started in that section. They're finishing out. And so I'm told them that since the construction is done in that section, they need to get this landscaping in.
I tend to think that the more diverse a community is, the better off it is. I think the more stable it is. I think the more ideas come to those meetings, those board meetings, because you have a plethora of perspectives that are coming and helping with creating new ideas or creating solutions to problems.
But I do have things that I love to do. Write poems, paint, sing, record my songs. I could do any one of these things all day long.
For those of you that don't read the rule book, no, you cannot be number 8 or number 6. I don't care how big of a LeBron James or a Kobe Bryant fan that you are. You cannot be 6 or 8 in high school basketball. I know you can do it in the NBA, but you cannot do it in high school.
That's my favorite number, though.
Man, I'm a Kobe. All right, be 24 then.
What I can tell you about this girl is she has the softest coat. She makes excellent snow biscuits, if you know what I'm saying. And she is just a fabulous cat. She's very vocal and just wants to be right by your side.
And that business today happens to be the Tennessee Titans.
A key element of this partnership is making sure that we give these students tangible, real-world, professional-level experience.
My Cause, My Kicks was brought to us by our friends at the Titans, and they said, I think we have an idea for your 20 time.
I promise you as I gaze at the moon that I'll be home real soon.
Some of you will become community leaders like the folks we have with us today. Some of you may even serve at the state and national level. Some of you will take on the noble profession of being teachers like we have here, taking care of you and teaching you guys today. Regardless of how you choose to serve, I pray that your generation will live in a world of peace.
We're officially celebrating our 50th anniversary as a school at Brentwood Middle School. We're having past and present and former and faculty and alumni come to Brentwood Middle School just to share in the memories, to reconnect, because it's all about the relationships that we have in our school building.
I attended Brentwood Middle School from 1993 to 96, and now I teach 6th grade.
The Eiffel Tower. Why did you make the Eiffel Tower? Because I got back from Paris over Thanksgiving. So you created a memory out of sculpture? Yes. And at Crockett, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make connections using clay to things that they do in their real life.
It's been a huge success this semester. We're going to continue it into next semester. But this is our first championship event at Belong Esports at Cool Springs Mall. I'm here with Coach Claypool and Eric Harvey. We're very excited for what we've got going on. We're playing Rocket League, Multiverses, and Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. The kids are excited. The parents are excited.
This week's gym, Tate. Fairview goes 13 for 27 from three-point range. Now it's a gym, but it's not the gym.
Oh, there's more to it. That's what did Paul Harvey say? And now the rest of the story.
Here's the rest of the story. If you only counted their three-point makes, that'd be 39 points. That was enough to defeat East Hickman, who scored 38. Nothing against East Hickman. I just thought I would point that out.
Well,
okay, you're digging through
in honor of that, I think we've talked a lot about boat races and snappy pizzas and football. I'd say that is a basketball boat race.
It is.
Congrats, Coach McCoy.
All right, I want to take a moment to welcome all of you to our 6th annual award ceremony, and thank you all for coming out to celebrate these wonderful individuals. Seems like yesterday we were all moving into this center, going through our first consolidation.
She's super, super sweet, very, very playful. She's actually our front desk dog here at Williamson County Animal Center. Thank you. She's very treat motivated, very toy motivated, and she's a very good girl.